Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. Yes, we are delayed again, and I am continuing to work with the developers of Ecamm Live to figure out why on earth this is happening. And they have not provided a good answer, and I'm still very disappointed. But I appreciate your patience through this and hope that this is going to be alleviated sometime soon. Is it such a word as alleviated? I think I may have just made that up. Anyhow, good morning to everyone. It is a pleasure to see you, and it is a pleasure to read your good mornings. Today is July 5th, and we have all kinds of interesting news to share with you. And as always, we welcome your comments. We welcome the news that you are new to the broadcast. If you are new to the broadcast, please let us know that you are new by writing the word new in your comment, and that way we'll give you a proper welcome. And if I seem a little distracted today, I apologize. I am trying to keep an eye on the screen and making sure that we're not delayed, but we are. Anyhow, I'm here. I really am here. Also, of course, if you have something really important to share with us, it helps a great deal if you can add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment so that we can address it accordingly. And yes, I'm reading comments from you guys about Highland Park in Chicago, and I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. But my thoughts and prayers are with those of you who feel strongly about this. What a complicated time. Anyhow, we have important news to share today. Again, we're trying to deploy the news in different ways to see if we can alleviate the pressure on the computer, and we're failing miserably. But I have some good news, and there is some light at the end of the tunnel that we will share throughout the broadcast. So we might as well get started with this and hope that things will improve as we go along. Okay, we start with news from our city. The city is investing almost $1 million pesos to improve the rain drainage network along González Gallo Avenue and Las Torres Avenue. This is near where Macroplaza is located, and the project intends to remove or decrease draining and flooding. Decrease the, oh my God, I am so distracted today. My apologies. This project is there in order to prevent the streets from flooding along Francisco Villa in the vicinity of Macroplaza. Once the work is concluded, rainfall will be directed to the Pitillal River, And according to this news item, Mayor Michel explained that the solution implemented by past administrations was simply to dig up a hole and expect the water to flow through the dirt. In other words, an actual pipe was never installed to direct the water flow to the river. The good news is that once the pipe is installed, sometime before the end of this month, the area will no longer flood during heavy rainfall. And to give you an idea of where we are talking about, here is Macroplaza in the middle of this image, and I have highlighted in red the areas that are being worked on. Ideally, the pipe will continue towards the river, and I wish I could point at this so that you could see it, but clearly this method of showing you images is not going to let me point to things, but hopefully we'll find another way to do this moving forward. Anyhow, as is expected, moving to other news, the number of COVID cases in Puerto Vallarta and the state of Jalisco continues to increase. We are now seeing over 100 new daily cases being reported in Puerto Vallarta. In fact, yesterday, 117 cases were reported. And since this past weekend, the entire state of Jalisco is reporting over 1,000 daily new cases. This is concerning. Of course, it is also true that COVID is less severe than it used to be now that we're all vaccinated or mostly vaccinated, but we continue to know what to do, and we continue to try to be as mindful as possible of our surroundings and follow the guidelines, even though they're no longer mandates. But it is important that we take care of ourselves. Moving right along, the elimination of daylight savings in Mexico is one step closer, with Mexico President Andrés Manuel López Obrador sending a formal proposal to the Secretary of Energy, Rocío Nanle, to remove it altogether. Since last month, President López Obrador has been stating that the savings with daylight savings are minimal. And in addition, Secretary of Health Jorge Alcocer informed that some studies suggest a link between daylight savings and an increase in heart attacks, not to mention depression and increase in suicides. And I'm sorry if I get a little smirky about this, because I don't know. I don't know what you think about this. I think daylight savings, well, no, I should just say that I don't know enough about daylight savings to have any kind of strong opinion one way or another. But, it is what it is. It may be happening. It may be not. What can I tell you? Let's see. Moving right along. My computer is just very unhappy this morning. Okay. Has Biden's top diplomat in Mexico gone too far? This is a question posed by the New York Times in an editorial article published this morning about Ken Salazar, the American ambassador to Mexico. I include this article and its link in the show notes only to give those of you that are interested a glimpse into the complexities associated to our country's, or associated with our country's relationship with the United States. I thought it was an interesting read, and hopefully you will too. Again, this is an article that was published this morning in the New York Times. And of course, yesterday, we started talking about fundraising for a new computer, and it is now official. We have created a space within Buy Me a Coffee where we are looking for 50 contributions of $40 each. Again, it feels totally weird for me to put this out there, but I'm going to put it out there and let the universe decide if this is a way to go. I am grateful for the fact that our friend Gary Green has already committed $100. I got a beautiful note this morning from Kathleen and Todd from Lick's Ice Cream, and they said that they were in for $100. I'm extremely grateful for that. Michael Beaufort said he would pitch in $200. Again, you guys are totally totally amazing. So I will include a link um, to the place in Buy Me a Coffee where you can do contribution. There's only 50 slots. One of them has already been occupied. And the reason we do it this way is because that way we will get what we need and nothing more, nothing else. I don't want to be foggy with clarity in terms of why we're doing this, how we're doing it. I want this process to be as transparent and as credible as possible. This has always been really important to me in everything that we do. And I might add, if you are a creator out there, I cannot understate how amazing the Buy Me a Coffee platform is to empower anyone like myself that is working independently and producing things. In our case, we produce news and connections. If you are considering fundraising or empowering yourselves in one way or another, a lot of people love and use GoFundMe. Other people use Patreon. I happen to love Buy Me a Coffee, and I'm extremely grateful to the developers for creating such an amazing product. Again, I thank you in advance, and just find more information in the show notes today. Now, let us move over to the weather just to see what we have in store for today and the next few days. Come on, weather. Oh, my computer is really unhappy. Okay, so I think we went directly to the weather. Yes. No transition, or maybe the transition will start playing in a second. This is so scary. It's not even funny. Anyhow, it is 24 degrees right now, and it feels like 28. Humidity is at 100%, and our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 76%. Our weather forecast for today says rain and humid through the day with a high of 29 and a low of 24. Tomorrow, Wednesday, it'll be another rainy and humid day with a high of 31 and a low of 25. And then Thursday, it will rain in the evening and overnight with a high of 31 and a low of 24. I may add that I've been keeping track of Hurricane Bonnie. Let me see if I can get the information that we have about Bonnie on the screen. Give me 1 second. We've already done that. Let's switch over to this. There you go. Bonnie, the hurricane, has evolved into a Category 2 hurricane, and today is the day in which it will be closest to Puerto Vallarta before heading towards the Pacific Ocean. So today is going to be the day in which we can expect high waves and increased rain coming to our city and the rest of the region. Moving right along, you may recall that a few days ago, I mentioned a local artist that goes by the name of Yoxolotl Art. He's making beautiful tie-dye shirts, and at the time, he was extremely grateful for the mention. And yesterday, he reached out to me about promoting a new handmade items market he has organized along with other artists. I was extremely grateful that he would take the time to ask, how do you go about promoting these things? And I told him I saw something posted, but not an actual Facebook event. So I suggested that he might consider creating one, not so much for Coffee and Headlines, but for better outreach in general. And that's precisely what he did. He and his associates went and created a Facebook page called Hecho a Mano Puerto Vallarta, or Handmade Puerto Vallarta. And they created an event for their next expo, which will take place this coming Sunday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at a restaurant called El Patio in Cinco de Diciembre. I am not familiar with this restaurant, so if somebody has any comments um, about El Patio restaurant, I would love to hear them. And of course, if you're in the neighborhood this coming Sunday, consider stopping by because or maybe it's just me, I have a very, very soft heart for anyone that is creating things with their own hands and their own creativity. So I'm probably going to try to stop by this Sunday. And if somebody has any comments about this restaurant, it would be awesome to learn more about it. And the last item that I have before we hop over to our comment section is also about dining. Speaking of dining, a few days ago, we mentioned a brand new Mexican specialty restaurant called El Negrito, located near La Comer, that specializes in Huasteca cuisine or cuisine from San Luis Potosí. I'll be dining there today and we'll bring a full report tomorrow. I am actually very excited about this because, as you've heard me say a number of times, there's more to Mexican food than just Mexican food. And it is really amazing to discover the broad variety one can find as you travel from one part of Mexico to another in terms of the kind of dishes that you can enjoy. There is a lot of overlap, of course, but then there's some very unique specialties throughout different parts of the country. And I took a quick look at the menu for this restaurant that I'm going to enjoy today. And I was thrilled to see that there are a number of items on the menu that I have never heard anything about. So don't think for a second that because one is a Mexican national individual, we know our own food. I am happy to admit that I am as much as of a newbie in some respects as other people. So I'm excited about that. And needless to say, I'm bringing my camera, so we should have a show around tomorrow. I'll take some photos of the food and the overall experience so that we can hopefully recommend the restaurant and, of course, add it to our map of restaurants, Versalles for foodies. And this brings us to our comment section. Let me take a quick look at what everybody is up to. Starting with Luisa, I am so happy to read that you are out of COVID jail and Montezuma revenge free. This is absolutely wonderful news. Let's see what else we have. Good mornings from all over the place, and these are so wonderful to read. I love it. Spencer cuts to the chase and goes, good morning, day, and evening to all. I love it. This is wonderful. Let's see what else we have. Amiga Luisa says, Zona Romantica is in the house. I wonder how many days you're going to spend in our city, and I hope you are enjoying your time here. Let's see. Logan says, what was supposed to be a somewhat stressful day at the office has turned into an easy breezy work from home in my underwear kind of morning. Haha, I love it. I love days like that. Although yesterday was a day out and about for me, I had to go to Galerías, where Liverpool is located. I was looking for the Ticketmaster booth at Liverpool because I wanted to handpick my tickets for the symphony concert that I'm going to in Guadalajara in a couple of weeks. And I was saddened to realize that there is no longer a local office for Ticketmaster here in Puerto Vallarta. So the only way to purchase tickets through Ticketmaster is through their website. And needless to say, you are not going to be given so much option in terms of the actual seats that you want to sit in. But that's the way it goes. Let's see what else we have. Michelle is celebrating a honeymoon in Garza Blanca. What a beautiful place to stay. Congratulations. Let's see what else. Yes, I read this, or rather, we acknowledged this earlier, Sherry. It's what a sad thing. All I can say is my thoughts and prayers are with you, and What a horrible situation. Let's see what else we have. In the big picture, out of sync is not something to stress over. I can overlook the issue for your peace of mind. I appreciate Diane. I appreciate that, but all I can say is in the process of being concerned of delivering an enjoyable experience, not to complain or anything, but from where I sit, it is really unnerving. And of course, the developer has not provided a good solution just yet. But as you know, we're taking steps in the right direction, and hopefully, new equipment will help this problem go away. Welcome, Gabrielle. Welcome, Gabrielle and Wayne from Austin, Texas. I assume it's. Oh, I don't know if Austin is your last name or Austin is your city, but welcome to Coffee and Headlines. I hope you find good connections here. That's what we enjoy. Let's see what else we have. Amiga Luisa had a nice meal at Coco's Kitchen. I have not had dinner, lunch, or breakfast at Coco's in a long time, but it is a beautiful, beautiful restaurant. Jerry, oh my goodness, my dear friend Jerry Grant. We used to work together at Vallarta Lifestyles a million years ago, and I learned so much from you, Jerry. And I continue to learn from you. And the memories, the thoughts are actually always present. In fact, if I can indulge with a small little story about Jerry Grant. When I was still working at Vallarta Lifestyles, we went to see a show in Teatro Diana. It was the Ballet Trocadero de Monte Carlo, which is a New York-based ballet troupe that is all men. It's a comedy troupe, and they dance in tutus, and it was absolutely funny. And I have memories of going to that concert with my dear friend Jerry Grant and laughing out loud. How wonderful it is to be able to escape to Guadalajara from time to time to enjoy beautiful art and cultural events over there. Joe asks or comments, the city seems to be doing a lot to alleviate flooding of the rivers around Vallarta. Has this been something done in every dry season, or is this something that just happened this year? What a great question, Joe. I think, and I know that the city does a fair amount of work, preventive work every year. But what is the quality of that work? That is the question. If we take the example of what was just mentioned, the news item about the work that is being done at González Gallo, in a past administration, the administration may have said, and I'm just saying this theoretically, they may have said, well, we need to create a rain canal from point A to point B. Now, a rain canal can be as simple as digging a hole and then covering it with concrete. And just make a hole and hope that the hole will do its job, and say, well, we created this canal, but we didn't install any pipes, so that would be an administration cutting corners. And what Mayor Michel is suggesting is that we are now digging the hole, but we're also putting a pipe in it. So to answer your question, the work gets done all the time, Joe. The quality of the work is always questionable. Is the city cutting corners with not the best materials? Is somebody profiting by saying we bought top of the line this and they ended up buying not top of the line this? Those are the mysteries that unfold in every administration. So hopefully, as our administrations become more committed to transparency, we will continue to see better and better infrastructure put in place in the city. Let's see. When we buy you a coffee, do you have to give up a percentage to the processor? Says Paula Pearson. The answer is yes. Buy Me a Coffee holds onto a small percentage, just like PayPal holds on to a small percentage, but thankfully the percentage is is very minimal. Let's see what else we have. Oh, Karen, thank you very much. Karen says, computer donation done. Thank you for all you do. Thank you very much for that. Paula asks, what was the Facebook for the tie-dye? Well, the Facebook for the tie-dye will be available in the show notes as always. So you'll have the answer to your question as soon as the broadcast is over. Then I see nice recommendations about El Patio. Wonderful place, comida corrida at lunch. It's super reasonable place to eat. Thank you very much for that, Dave. Brad adds, El Patio is one of my favorites. Awesome breakfast and extensive lunch menu. How fun. How fun. Another one for El Patio. For El Patio. This is great to know. This is wonderful to see, and it is absolutely amazing. I love it. I love discovering new restaurants. Let's see what else we have. Gabriel comments, thank you guys. First opportunity to join Paco Live. I did become a subscriber and sponsor of Coffee and Headlines. Look forward to meeting some of you very soon. Thank you very much. It is always appreciated. Let's see what else we have. Congratulations on your loss of independence, Harold. Harold celebrated his 46th anniversary with his wife, Sue, yesterday. Congratulations on that. Let's see what else we have. Well, this brings us to the end of today's broadcast. Again, I thank you all for being such an amazing community of friends, of cluster, of concerned individuals, of folks that are looking to connect with one another and connect with our city. It is always a pleasure to be here, and it is always a pleasure to connect with you. I'll keep digging into this. I am hoping that we don't have to wait for a new computer to improve the quality of our broadcast. But in the meantime, I appreciate your patience and your dedication to what we do here. I appreciate your comments. And so does Luna, who is lounging elsewhere in the house. Today is Tuesday. I'll see you back here tomorrow with a full report on my restaurant outing. Between now and then, please stay kind, stay safe, take good care of yourselves and one another, and stay in touch. Have a great day.